Don't hold on, they need to move. No, that won't work.
You snooze, you lose.
Moving is living. So move your money with Investor's Guide. Only on ET Now.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome all of you here this evening at the launch of the 9th edition of Dun & Bradstreet's premier publication, India's Top PSUs, and the PSU Awards, which are dedicated to all of you, the leading PSUs of our country. PSUs have always played a leading role in ensuring the availability of finance, energy production, the supply of sensitive goods and services, providing employment, contributing to the public exchequer, and driving social upliftment programs in the country. It would therefore be correct to highlight the public sector as a key channel to effectively implement the country's agenda for economic and social development. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that the last 2 years have been extremely challenging for PSUs, but this is largely due to the global economic scenario. The challenges that lie ahead are obviously very formidable, but by no means insurmountable. And I'm confident that Dun & Bradstreet will be reporting a stronger financial performance by the public sector when we meet again next year. Thank you.
Today we are all living in a hyper-connected world. If you look at some of the facts, there are more mobile devices than people in the world. More than 50% of the traffic on internet is through mobile phones. There are more users of internet in India than in USA. And 40% is the internet growth that's happening in this country. If that's the kind of the growth that telecom sector is seeing, I'm sure it is happening because you are changing your business model. I'm reasonably sure the way you are using technology 5 years back versus what you're using today, it's completely transformed and changed. And that's what I would say Vodafone's contribution has been, a little bit contribution in digital India, to make ready businesses, to make sure there are ready PSUs, and to make sure the nation is also ready. Thank you very much.
The liberalization of the Indian economy, entry of private players, and the resulting increase in market competition has led to PSUs facing new challenges and new opportunities. And I think one of the key drivers for the resurgence of PSUs in India would really be digital and technical innovation. And we are convinced that digital and technology adoption will drive the growth of the economy, will drive the growth of PSUs as well, and will be a key factor in making PSUs a resurgent force. Thank you.
Good evening. What a pleasure it is to be here. I don't have too many numbers to flout. I don't have too many numbers to prove that you're doing a good job. In the heart of heart, I know that you're doing a good job. And my experience in the past year and a half in the coal ministry had made me believe that if you give the right environment, the public sector can do wonders. And Coal India is one such clear example where till about 2 years ago, no one believed that this country would have surplus coal. I remember when I just took over as coal secretary, most of my time was spent in receiving calls from the chief ministers and chief secretaries panicking about shortage of coal. It's just the other way around. Now Coal India today is running after the clients to take coal from the pit heads, where we have around 50 million tons lying, and we have coal with the power plants, which is more than 22 days inventory, around another 30 million tons. And Coal India doesn't know what to do with the coal. They have had to cut down their production in order to save the coal from burning. This turnaround came not because of Mr. Anil Swarup sitting here in Delhi. This turnaround came around because of the hard work put in by the people who are working in Coal India. So hats off Suthir Bhattacharya and his team. Amazing team that we have. Phenomenal. Keep it up. I have a few suggestions to offer to you. You know, sometimes I do get this feeling that the focus that should be there in in actually arriving at your destination, in actually accomplishing what you do, gets lost on issues over which you do not have control. My personal experience is that if you are extremely focused on what you can do, then you will be able to do a lot more than being bothered about issues over which you have no control. The second point that I wanted to suggest to you is, we have always been there, but I think the recognition has to come that it has to be a public-private partnership. And that's where the roles of public sector, the Prime Minister himself announced on the 15th of August very clearly that public sector have a very, very important role to play. Indeed, that's the way forward. But we have to work in tandem with the private sector. There are things which the private sector can do, and my take is very simple. The scale will come from the government sector. The efficiencies will come from the private sector. If the two of us can travel together, I think we can bring about, I hate to use the word revolution because all revolutions have led to dictatorship, but I think we can move much faster.
Ladies and gentlemen, I call on the guest of honor, Shri Anil Swaroop, to release the latest edition of India's Top PSUs 2016.
चिन्तयन्तो ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्।
आपकी सुरक्षा और समृद्धि है हमारी जिम्मेदारी।
हमारे दिन भर के खाने में प्रोटीन की कमी से हो सकती है थकान और कमजोरी, इसीलिए मेरा भरोसा प्रोटीन एक्स, जिसमें है लीडिंग हेल्थ ड्रिंक्स के मुकाबले 50% एक्स्ट्रा प्रोटीन। अब हुआ ना प्रोटीन रिच डाइट। प्रोटीन एक्स, द प्रोटीन एक्सपर्ट।
Done with the views? Switch on the real news. Political and policy headlines, business and market moves. Sports and entertainment. Just what you need to know. News that's unadulterated. Top 10 stories on Top 10 at 10. Weeknights. Only on ET Now.
कहाँ हो तुम? अंधेरा हो रहा है।
जब बिल छोटा हो जाता है तो दिल बड़ा हो जाता है। Havells LED, बिजली बचाइए, रोशनी फैलाइए।
Presenting the versatile and flexible Sodexo Meal Card, a card that actually helps you save money each time you spend.
Welcome to the Dun & Bradstreet PSU Awards 2016. The public sector has always played a pivotal role with respect to the socio-economic development of this country. And if you fast forward to the present day, you see the government launching multiple initiatives and programs to help bring India back on track with respect to experiencing rapid double-digit growth. So in this context, before heading into the awards ceremony tonight, we thought it'd be especially apt to have a focused dialogue on the role of public sector undertakings in particular in the context of powering a resurgent India. And to help facilitate me in this conversation, I'm joined by an esteemed panel here. First off, the Chairman and Managing Director of the National Research Development Corporation, Dr. H. Purushottam. The Chief Executive Officer of Writer Information Management Services, Mr. Satyan Mohan Yanapaka. Chief Technology Officer of Vodafone Business Services, Mr. Satish Mittal. Director of Operations for Power Grid Corporation of India, Mr. Rajendra Prasad Sasmal. And last but not least, the Director of Finance for Mahanadi Coalfields, Mr. K.K. Parida. Now, post-1991, with economic liberalization, a lot has changed. PSUs have faced intense competition from the private sector, from foreign entrants, so on and so forth. So I want your take on some of the biggest challenges that PSUs are facing in the current environment.
As far as our organization or my organization is concerned, the challenges are again getting a quality people. The skill sets are really very tough. Or even if you identify, retaining the talent is also a major challenge what we are facing. Another major issue is the competition. Of course, competition now, the FDIs are open, almost 100% FDIs are involved, and there also, it is an opportunity as well as a threat, I would say. I think unless we come out with a good strategies, our existence of survival itself is in a big question mark. I think as PSUs, we need to deliberate and come out with a sustainable strategies so that we will be able to compete with these multinationals. The third challenge I would see, again, budgetary constraints. I think government also need to look into this factor, and wherever there is a need for such kind of a equity or grant or loan, whatever way it is possible, I think governments need to address this issue so that the public sectors will become competitive and they will be able to fulfill the objectives for which they have been established.
Now, Rajendra, would you agree with Dr. Purushottam in that retaining talent, facing competition from the private sector and budget constraints are some of the primary challenges? And could you add to those?
Yeah, I agree with him that because there are a lot of challenges from public sectors and we have a lot of limitations. We have regulators, we have Central Electricity Authority, we have CVC, we have CAG. Everybody, there are 7 Cs are there for private sector, public sectors. So we have a lot of limitations and subject to audit. But when you go for the competition with private players, so it is a challenge for all of us. Though we own about 40% of the transmission that has come under bidding. But again, with the transparency, with the reverse actions, I don't know what will be our future projects. But anyhow, we give a lot of challenge to the private players. Definitely that is there, one of the issues. Second, it is the quality issues. We have still a lot of companies have to go with a lot of quality control, quality product, and we have to see that delivery in time. That is one of the major areas. Third part is that CSR activities, since our presence is pan-India, every state or every constituents and every one wants some CSR activities, but we have limited funds. As you know, we have about 6,000 crore profits, so 120 crores is about the CSR funds. And very quickly we adjust our all CSR activities, though we want to do more, but we don't have money to do that much of CSR activities.
And Mr. Parida, would you like to build on that and perhaps some challenges unique to your industry in particular that PSUs are facing?
Our major challenge is land acquisition. Because for us, land is the raw material. Delhi, we have to acquire land, evacuate villages, and RR problem, rehabilitation, resettlement problem. This is a huge challenge for coal industry. Why this is so? Because the expectation of the public is also very high from the public sectors. Because we have to acquire the land, we have to provide employment. Once we provide them employment, we don't have option whether we are acquiring a skilled person or not. To avoid that also, to face that challenge, we have developed our own skill development programs. Then the infrastructure development like railways, because coal evacuation, our customers, even though large number of powerhouses are the P-TED powerhouse, but our major customers are in distance located. We have to supply coal through rail, by road, so for that infrastructure development is a must. Without that, we cannot supply coal at a cheaper price. So these are the major challenges that we are facing, and also we are trying to solve this with our own resources, with the help of the government and the public also. Thank you.
And as an outsider looking in, do any of these challenges that we've just heard about come as a surprise? And are there others that you perceive?
Having serviced a lot of PSUs in my career, right? One of the key observations I have is, in terms of demarcating what are their core services and what are non-core services. right? So most of the PSUs, the way they function is like end-to-end, whether it is support services, whether it's a core business activity, every action, that has to be done to keep the PSU alive is being done in-house, right? That restricts their support services, whether it's a core business activity, every action, that has to be done to keep the PSU alive is being done in-house, right? That restricts their degrees of freedom, right? So what ideally I would suggest is maybe it's time, because each of the PSU is a commercial establishment, whether we like it or not. I think to bring in more efficiencies into the entire process, perhaps they should look at focusing only on their core business activity and look at partners for outsourcing their non-core activities.
And Satish, do you share that view? Do you share that view that outsourcing by identifying the right partners is the way to go to take the load off of PSUs?
Yeah, absolutely, Pooja. And I think the panelists talked about operational efficiency, cost cutting, being competitive. So you need not to build in-house expertise for this. There are partners available, and I completely agree on that.
What is the way in which you all believe that PSUs can contribute to powering a resurgent India?
In my opinion, the single most is we need to improve our internal operational efficiencies. So once you streamline that, I think many things fall in line.
For me, our PSUs should make in India for the rest of the world, right? That I'm looking forward for that day, wherein, all our PSUs become of global standards and start exporting majority of their produce.
I would say use technology to the hilt. So make your workforce mobile enabled, make them more efficient. Reach out to your customers digitally. Use efficiencies like IoTs and M2M to make sure that you are able to track and trace your assets. So go whole hog on technology, and hence that bring that benefit back to yourself, to your employees, and to the customers.
Basically, it is the operational efficiency based on your own experience, own feedback systems, and adaptation of new technology. That is one of the major area, major thrust to see that you have really the best technology and manpower available with you.
The only mantra is that we have to work hard. We have to adapt ourselves to the new situation, to the new demand of the market, what the country needs today, whether it is adoption of the new technology or it is outsourcing or whatever. We have to improve ourselves, our efficiency and hard work. This is the only, I can say, we can survive. Otherwise, just like other technologies industries, they perish. Even though they do hard work, we have to adapt ourselves to the changes only.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. You've left us with many valuable nuggets this evening. And thank you for your time, your insights, and for drawing from your own experiences. It's been truly invaluable, and we wish you continued success. Thank you so much.
Top of the world with Times Network. And you're watching ET Now.
Ananyas-chintayanto ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktana yogakshema.
आपकी सुरक्षा और समृद्धि है हमारी जिम्मेदारी.
Make your point on the News Hour. Join Arnav every night on the News Hour with your question. Head to the News Hour section of the New Times Now app.
My name is Yash and I'm a student of MCA.
Record your video to make your point and click send.
Yash is watching the News Hour debate tonight. Yash, wherever you are, here are your views.
India passport means you're an Indian citizen, right? And you're proud to be an Indian citizen.
Absolutely. Yash, thanks very much for your feedback.
Get closer to the country's most watched news show like never before.
Please download the Times Now app, because I want you to follow the News Hour wherever you go. I want to see your questions coming, and if you're on the app, you can record and post your comments on the live debate that's going on right now.
Ask your question and join the debate with the new Times Now app.
The stage is set then for honoring those that finished ahead of the rest. Moving on to the first queue of awards. Steel is the first category to go up in lights. The winner is Steel Authority of India. Next year of awards, tourist services comes into review. Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation Limited pulled out all stops on the first track of success to finish winners in this category. Next year of awards, services. It's transport services that grab attention next. It's rolled out perfectly for Container Corporation of India Limited, Next year of awards, non-life insurance. The New India Assurance Company Limited finished ahead of the rest. Here's something that should pique you a lot of interest. It's banks. And the award goes to State Bank of India. Bringing both spark and sparkle to the awards ceremony of the Dun & Bradstreet PSU Awards 2016. Electricity, power generation. Double the applause, therefore, NTPC Limited. The next year of awards to honors excellence in the category services, industrial development and tech consultancy services. The award goes to the National Small Industries Corporation Limited. Moving on to the next year of awards, manufacturing. Transportation equipment gets its name up in lights next. Flying high on a trajectory of excellence is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Manufacturing, medium and light engineering, it is that's going on under the microscope next. Finishing ahead of the competition is Bharat Electronics Limited. The next year of awards, electricity, power transmission. The winner is Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. We are going distinctively heavyweight in our next category as manufacturing. Heavy engineering goes under the scanner. The winner is Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. The next year of awards, the category is mining coal. The winner is who else but Coal India Limited. company has a virtue of being the best in manufacturing, oil, refining and marketing. The winner is Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. Next year of awards, manufacturing, fertilizers. It's all came good for Bradstreet Chemical and Fertilizers Limited over the past fiscal. Life insurance is next, and no prizes for guessing the winner. It's Life Insurance Corporation of India all the way. Right next, though, we are going deeper rather than faster as mining. Crude oil becomes the focus of the moment. The award goes to Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited. Next year of awards, financial services is our next port of call. The award goes to Power Finance Corporation Limited. By the end of the next category, just one from the manufacturing, gas, processing, transmission and marketing space will be over the moon, and that is GAIL India Limited. This next award identifies the best performing Mini Ratna over the past fiscal. The winner of the category Best Mini Ratna is NHPC Limited. Next year of awards, we are looking at a coveted title next. It's for the Best Navratna, and the award goes to Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. Finally, the award for the Best Maharatna goes to NTPC Limited. And that completes the regular categories of the 2016 Dun & Bradstreet PSU Awards. We have 4 special felicitations still to make. These felicitations are in recognition of PSUs that have done the country proud. Yes, in an age where everything is short and fleeting, these legendary companies have contributed for years. The first of those mega PSU brands is Mahanadi Coalfields Limited. India Tourism Development Corporation for successfully completing 50 years of operation. The third felicitation acknowledges the efforts of Electronics Corporation of India Limited over the past half a century. The fourth and final felicitation on the night acknowledges the efforts of Chennai Petroleum Corporation Limited for successfully completing 50 years of operation.
मैं छोटा था तो बहुत बातूनी था, बाहर से पढ़ के आया तो और भी ज्यादा बोलने लगा। लगता था दुनिया का सारा ज्ञान मेरे ही पास।